Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Mind, Body, Soul Evolution. So today we're doing something a little different. We know I'm a tarot card reader, but I'm also a yogi, a yoga instructor, and a student of yoga. So today I thought I would just give you a little bit of a yoga class. Now we are coming into a full moon lunar eclipse on the 13th/14th of March. Eclipse is in Virgo, which is an earth sign. So it's really good, especially during eclipse time, to go back to the things that really ground you, especially if things are feeling turned upside down. Now in March, we know we have a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse, two planets going retrograde. Right now we are retrograde in Venus. Mercury will go retrograde on the 14th. We have the spring equinox moving us from the end of the zodiac calendar, turning the page to the new year of the zodiac calendar. So there's just a lot of energy happening. And in all honesty, it was actually yoga that brought me back to my roots of reading tarot. So I thought I'd just come on today and do a yoga class. Now, I'm not going to pull tarot cards, but I am going to pull a card from a yogic path deck for a little guidance and clarity. I have a candle here. I do have blocks. You may or may not need blocks. If it's a comfort thing for you, if you feel like you want blocks, by all means, grab them. If not, it's all good. So, a yogic path. Let's just give these cards a shuffle. We'll pull something out as a little yoga guidance today. Like, what is the universe of yoga? What is it leading us towards? What does it need us to know today and as we move into our lunar eclipse? And our card is Krishna. And so let me see what Krishna says. And I'll read what the book says because, I can paraphrase, but it's just so much better when it comes from the intention of the author and the creator. And the creator, actually, of this is Sahara Rose. Let me find Krishna in here. They have it. Okay, so it's page 119. So if you are into numerology, and if you see the number 119, I'll open right up to it. Maybe that might be a sign for you that you are on the right path, or this is something for you to start looking into. Krishna is the god of compassion and love. Now, Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion and love, so the counterpart here. So looking at that would be like duality and balance, right? Let's see. What does it feel like to be totally enamored, captured, and raptured and captivated with love for the divine? This is the essence of Krishna. You have entered a time where you have realized love is something so much greater than passion between two people. Instead, it is the origin of all of life, where everything blossoms. You have trusted in the greater forces of the universe, and in return, it supports you with its all-encompassing arms, embracing you like stars in the sky. So beautiful, right? Continue trusting that the divine is omnipresent and that you are, I know I need new glasses, right? And you are not only a part of the universe, but the entire universe exists inside of you. Krishna also reminds you that play is a form of prayer. And beautiful cards. We'll keep this at the top of our mat. So in yoga, there is a belief that the physical practice, moving your body, is prayer in motion. And meditation or shavasana at the end is receiving the answer to that prayer. So it's a beautiful thing, right? So you feel free to grab a block if you want a block. If you want to grab a water bottle or a pillow, or if you want to light a candle, put on some aromatherapy. Grab what you need, and when you're ready, meet me on the mat. Now I'm going to turn over here and grab a block real quick. I do not need blocks, but if your hip flexors are really tight, if your knees are elevated, you can grab a block and sit on your block. And maybe I'll do that today. I've been teaching a lot lately, and these hip flexors can get really tight. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and audibly exhale and close your eyes. Hands can rest gently on your legs. Chin can drop slightly towards your chest, but keep the spine tall. As the chin draws down, and we're not drawing our body down, we're keeping our shoulders aligned. We're getting some space between our floating ribs and our hips. So Olive's going to join us. And slow breath in. Exhale, let it go. So we're just right now breathing into our body, changing the awareness and the focus of our mind from the exterior to ourself. And we're putting some distance between what has happened in our day so far and this moment. So if you're choosing to participate in this class or any class, be there for the entirety of it. Give yourself the gift of presence. So breathe in. And draw the navel towards your spine a little bit as you breathe out. So feel that core contraction. And take a few moments. Feel your hips anchoring down into the earth. Maybe I'll come off my block for this. So here we allow gravity to do its job, right? Gravity pulls things down. So let gravity start to anchor your body into the earth. Get a little grounded, right? The full moon lunar eclipse is in the sign of Virgo. That is an earth sign, so let's get really grounded. If crystals might help you through your practice, feel free to grab a crystal or two. And then let gravity slide your shoulders down your spine, right? Through every day, our shoulders just tend to lift up. There's a lot of stress and tension, so let gravity do its thing. Let gravity draw your eyelids down over your eyes. You don't really need to see anything at this point. And take a moment here and just silently or say to yourself, give gratitude to your body. This amazing vessel, that is your vessel for the duration of your life on earth. It is the carrier of your soul. So give gratitude to your body for everything it allows you to do, for everything it has carried you through so far, and for the awarenesses it gives you if we have some pain or some tenderness somewhere, right? On your next in-breath, let your arms sweep out and up. Nice deep stretch. Let your fingers interlace, let your palms stretch skyward. So maybe get a little arch in the spine. I'll turn sideways. Maybe let the spine arch a little bit. A little seated cat-cow here. Deep breath in. Let the chin lift. The head leans back, but we're not throwing it back to compromise our neck. And as you exhale, lower your arms in front of you to shoulder height. Let the palms press forward and round through the upper back. Draw the chin down, and then slide your shoulders down, right? If they're coming up, slide them down. And press through your palms in. Yes, sit up nice and tall. And as the arms lift, the chin lifts. Only take everything to its point A lot of times we will say, like, bring your biceps back by your ears, but if your shoulders are tight, just go where when they are allowing you to go. And lower your arms in front of you to shoulder height. Exhale, chin to chest. And again, inhale, sit tall. So from the back of the sits bones, we're rolling onto the front of the sits bones, arms reach. This time, as you exhale, release your fingers. Right palm down or right fingers, left arm skyward. The option to grab a block, right? If it's feeling like the stretch is just too much for you today, if it's not accessible, blocks are to raise the earth to meet you where you're at, right? And take a side bend over. Press into that right hand and just spin the left chest towards the sky. Soften the right elbow. It doesn't have to come all the way down, but soften it. You gaze up towards the left, maybe close your eyes or soften them though. And press into that right hand, come back up through center. Inhale, right arm comes up to meet the left. And left hand down. So take your time, right? Fingers, palm, right arm reaches, and then press into that left arm and spin the right chest open. And then soften your eyes. Only going to the point your body is allowing. So if that right hip feels like it's lifting off the mat, if you feel like you're going really deep because you want that depth, but the right hip is lifting off the mat, press into that left hand and shift the right rib cage towards the right, and that will help you stay a little more grounded. And press into that left hand, inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat or to the floor in front of you. If this is hard on your knees, you feel free to extend your legs forward and walk forward. Again, hands to blocks or forearms to blocks. And from here, rock your head side to side. You bring your forearms down. We're not going for a really deep stretch here. We're just opening the spine, let the chin draw in towards your chest. Starting to allow space between the vertebrae. A little release in the upper hip and lower spine. And then press into your hands and start to lift the forearms up, but gently sway the body side to side. We're moving nice and slow to start our practice, and we'll see how this unwinds. And start to walk the hands back as you sway your body. But if you don't like the swaying, then don't do it, right? Come back up to a nice comfortable seat, arms be bowed up. Palms joined overhead. Let your hands land at your heart on the exhale. Palms join, thumbs, maybe they touch your sternum. And if it is part of your practice to set intentions or to lean into gratitude, I invite you to do that here. Maybe you use the energy of the planets where they are at in alignment. Maybe lean into the energy of the upcoming full moon, lunar eclipse. Whatever it is, set these intentions. And let your palms press skyward, inhale. And exhale, transition tabletop hands to knees. I'm going to roll over my knees. You can sweep your legs out to the sides. And just make your way into a neutral spine. Shoulders over the elbows, over the wrists. Knees underneath the hips. Maybe walk them back a little further. Elbow creases turn slightly forward. And shift your hips side to side. Shift them to the right. And feel that nice deep outer hip band stretch. Come back to center as you breathe in. Exhale, let your hips shift to the left. So as you shift to one side, the opposite knee might start to make its way off the mat. Come back to center, inhale. Shifting to the right, exhale. This feels really good. I did a step class last night, so this is really good. Come back to center, inhale. And shift to the left, exhale. Nice, everyone, come back to center. Adjust as you need. Extend the right leg long behind you. Tuck the toes under. So slide the shoulders down, arch the spine because that feels really good. That's your in-breath. And exhale, draw your pelvis forward and draw the rib cage back towards your spine. And lift the right foot off the mat. Foot is either flexed or pointed. We do want energy in that leg, although you can keep that knee soft. Left arm, if it's available, sweeps forward. Left shoulder slides in. So balancing table, or maybe slightly unbalanced table. Your gaze, your drishti, is to the mat and slightly forward. You take one more breath here. Nice, everyone. Keep the right leg up. Float the left hand down. Float the right foot down. Tuck those toes under. And again, if you're starting to arch into the spine, let the pelvis draw forward. We want to get some space in that sacral spine. But take the left foot, lift it. Sweep it back behind you. Spin the right foot onto the mat. Plant the left hand, right arm skyward. So some nice, deep side body stretches today. And take one more breath in. Press into that right foot, press into that left hand, and bring yourself up. Right hand down, left arm reaches up. Shoulders soften. So the right hand is not pressing on that leg, it's just resting there. And then inhale, come back up through center. Left hand plants back down. And start to lift the right foot off the mat. Foot is flexed, knee and toes face the side wall. And bend the right knee, bring the heel back towards your hip. Right hand reaches down, you catch the foot or ankle. And if you can't grab it, you can still bend the knee and lower the arm without grabbing the foot. But if you have the foot, wrap the right shoulder onto the spine, press the foot into the hand, draw that thigh back. A big move here, I get it. One more breath in, exhale, release the right leg extends, right arm up. Right hand comes down, lift the left foot, sweep it back behind you, step that right foot forward between your hands, shift forward. Shoulders slide down and climb your palms up onto your thigh. Lift the chest, breathe in, maybe arms reach up, maybe they don't, and they don't have to. Depends on how you're feeling. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Tuck the left toes under, press through that left foot, lift that left heel, step the left up to meet the right. Get some space between your feet. Wide stance, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend at the knees, maybe hands to elbows. And maybe you sway your body side to side. And come into stillness if you have movement. Let your hands release down to the mat. Bend your knees nice and deep, chin into your chest. Take your time, roll yourself up. Nice and slow. Exhale, shoulders draw back. They slide down, palms turn forward, step your feet underneath your hips. Tadasana or mountain pose. Arms sweep out and up, inhale. Bend your knees, swan dive forward. And on the in-breath, let your legs extend. Palms onto your shins. Heel the hand right underneath the kneecap. And release down as you exhale. Bend your knees and let's step back. Let's find our first downward facing dog of today's practice. So maybe you pedal this out. Would be bending one knee, extending the opposite leg, and switching off. Maybe stillness feels better. And I find that if my legs, hamstrings, or are tight, or there's too much pressure on my wrists, I like to grab a set of blocks. These are my aloe blocks and my aloe mat. And it takes some of the tension off. So you can let your knees soften, your heels can sink a little more towards the mat. We'll take 3 more breaths. So if you have blocks, you can try this. This is one of my favorite ways to get into my first downward facing dog. Take one more breath in. And exhale, knees to the mat, tabletop. I'm going to shift those blocks forward and make your way back to that neutral spine, finding that alignment, shoulders over elbows, over wrists. So now let's circle our bodies. Let's come forward, side, shifting back, shifting side. And then forward and side and back and side, and 2 more. Forward. Take this as far as you can go. Maybe you want to keep this a little smaller. Maybe you have some more space to exaggerate the movement a little bit. And then come forward. Go the opposite direction. Back and side. We seek equanimity. It's not always easy, right? We are not bilaterally equal in our bodies. And we don't necessarily think that way in life, right? But we try to the best of our ability to find a balance and harmony. And come into a neutral spine. So if you hear that noise, it's a very windy day here. The window is right over here. So the wind is really kind of hitting into my windows. So find your alignment, shoulders, elbows, wrists, extend the left leg long behind you. Tuck the left toes under. So slide the shoulders down, arch the spine. Let that feel good. That's your inhale. Then exhale, press into your palms, draw the pelvis forward, knit the rib cage in. Take the right foot, lift it, sweep it back behind you, spin the left foot onto the mat. Right arm up. Or left arm up, sorry. And I'm going to shift on my mat. This is a very long mat. I don't know how I always end to the edge of it. So take another breath in, maybe an audible exhale. Press into that left foot, press into that right hand, bring yourself up, inhale. Find that shoulder hip alignment. If your hips are shifting to the left, shift them slightly to the right. And left hand down, right arm reaches. Soften your shoulders, right? So as that right arm reaches, the shoulder wants to come up, slide it down. And as that left foot is on the floor, maybe you roll outward a little bit to the outer edge. Just a little bit, you'll feel a nice stretch on that ankle. Nice, everyone, come back up, inhale. Exhale, right hand down. Lift the left leg. Foot is flexed or pointed, but that knee can be soft. Then bend the left knee heel towards your hip. Left hand, left arm lowers. And again, you can bend the knee and lower the arm without making the connection. But if it's there, hand wraps around either ankle, or maybe you walk it down to the top of the foot. Left shoulder wraps onto the spine, foot presses into the hand as you draw that thigh back. And if you have some opening here, maybe chest spins skyward just a little bit. One more breath in. Exhale, release that left leg. Left arm up, plant the left foot down. Right foot, lift it, sweep it back underneath of you. Take the left hand down, square off. And then lift that left leg. Bend the left knee as you step that left foot forward between your hands so that your hips shift forward. Low lunge, walk that right knee back. We just want to make sure it's behind the hip. And hands walk up onto that left thigh to start. Again, lower body shifts forward, upper body shifts back. Slightly, right? Arms overhead. If you need to wiggle the fingers, if you need to circle those wrists out, I get it. Go for that. Peel the chest open. Take one more breath in. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Right toes tuck under, pressing through the heel to lift that knee. Right foot steps up to meet the left, forward fold. And palms to shins. Make your way to a flat spine. Breathe in. Release down. As you exhale, bend your knees and take your time not to roll this one up. Slide your shoulders back. Slide them down, feet into mountain pose. Palms turn forward. Arms sweep overhead, inhale. Let's cactus our arms here. Exhale. Arms are about 90 degrees like goalposts. Shoulders slide down. Elbows draw back, chest lifts, chin lifts. Again, we're not throwing the head back. There is space in the back of our neck. Press into your feet, rise back up, tall mountain. Bend your knees, swan dive forward. And then flat spine, palms to shins, take breath. And release down as you exhale, stepping back. Downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Take a little pedal, take a little shift. Maybe move your head around a little bit. Come into stillness. So in your downward facing dog, we don't want the chest to sink, right? We want to press into our hands and broaden through the upper back. Navel draws towards your spine. Inhale, lift your heels and roll your body into plank, top of a push-up. Knees can be up or down. I'll bring mine down for this first one. Toes point back. Shift forward. Let's lower all the way down. So as the elbows bend, the arms hug into the rib cage, all the way down you go. Roll the shoulders back, forehead to the mat, point your toes. Baby cobra, inhale. And exhale, release back down. Inhale, baby cobra. Head, shoulders, and chest. Exhale, release down. Inhale, baby cobra. Roll the shoulders back, exhale. Inhale, press all the way up. So arms extend, but elbows still remain soft. Now let's press back to a child's pose. If it's available, let your knees get as wide as your mat, hips towards your heels, and stack your arms in front of you. Let this be really soft, resting child's pose. Forehead on the back of your hand, shoulders slide down. Take a breath in, let it go, and come back into some gratitude for your body, for everything it does for you. And just listen to your breath. You can probably really hear the inhales and exhales. And notice where you're feeling sensation. I'm going to take 2 more breaths. And then inhale, gently lift your head up. Hands towards turn your hands forward, roll up to tabletop, hands and knees, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, lift your heels, get really tall, and exhale, step or walk your feet forward between your hands. Palms to shins, flat spine. And release down, exhale. You can roll this up or you can swan dive up. Whatever feels good and right to you. Palms joined overhead, they land at your heart, exhale. And let's do this again. Palms pressing skyward, breathe in. Bend your knees as you swan dive, protecting that low back. As you inhale, flat spine, take a breath. On the exhale, releasing down, step back, down dog. Inhale, lift your heels, roll your body into plank. Knees up or down. I had mine down last time. I'm keeping them up. Shifting forward all the way down you go. Roll the shoulders back, point the toes straight up to a high cobra this time. Yeah, going a little deeper, right? Toes tuck under. Either press straight back to downward facing dog or climb through tabletop and then peel your body back. Take 3 breaths. Maybe some audible exhales. I really like them in downward facing dog. It helps me to release some more stress that's making its way to the surface. And as you inhale, lift your heels and bend your knees, look to the top of the mat and step forward. And then inhale, palms to shins, come to that flat spine. And release down, exhale. Roll it up or swan dive up. Arms sweep overhead, palms join. On the exhale, they land at your heart center. We'll do 1 more, and we'll start adding things on. Let your palms press. Shoulders slide down. Take a moment and just pause here, keeping the navel and rib cage floating in. And just stand, reaching to your higher self. Grounding, right, and rooted into who you are. Then swan dive forward. And inhale, flat spine, palms to shins. And release down as you exhale, step back, down dog. And lift your heels. As you inhale, roll into plank. Knees up or down, shift forward. Let's come into a chaturanga, halfway down. Up dog this time. And then listen up. Take the left foot, tuck the left toes under. We're pressing back to downward facing dog. But as we do, we're going to bend that right knee, draw it in towards your rib cage, and then peel back. Inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Knee over ankle. High crescent lunge this time. Arms forward and up. Let the pelvis come slightly forward. Pressing back through that left heel. Shoulders soften. Hands to heart center. We're going to twist to the right. So options, you can just take the twist and hold up. Like you think the wall is here, right? You don't have to dip. If you want to dip, shift forward and then rotate and let the left tricep land on the outer right knee. Shoulders roll onto the spine. So you're on the ball of the left foot, right knee aligns over that right ankle. And 2 more breaths. Your hands are touching, but just notice the amount of pressure. If there's a lot of pressure, ease up a little bit. Nice, everybody, back to that center crescent inhale. Spin open to warrior 2. And take that right leg, extend it, flush that out. Triangle, Trikonasana. So take the extension. Right hand to the shin, ankle, foot, floor, or a chair block. Left arm overhead. Or hand behind the back. For the half bind, right? If the arms are tired, take the half bind. Breathe in, exhale out. Breathe in and let it go. Nice, everybody. Right knee bends. Warrior 2. Inhale. Come on up. So if those hips are shifting towards the left for that triangle, start to shift them slightly towards the right. Make sure the right toes are facing the top of the mat. My toes have a tendency to turn in. Just be mindful of that, gazing over those right fingers. And take 1 more breath here. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Lift that left heel, come into that lunge, step the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. A little shift, a little sway, then stillness. And then inhale, lift your heels, rolling into plank. Knees up or down. Find your alignment first, and then shift forward. Maybe make that your way to that chaturanga. Maybe it's an up dog this time. And then from here, right toes tuck under, left toes stay pointed. As we go to downward facing dog, bend that left knee. Draw it in towards your ribcage as you press back, exhale. Inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, left foot steps forward. High crescent lunge, come on up. A lot of lunging today, right? Breathing in, hands to heart, exhale. So again, options. We're twisting it to the left. Option to stay tall in your twist. If you want the right tricep to come to the outside of the left knee, maybe shift forward and then take the twist. And again, notice how your hands are resting. They're resting. It's not pressing. Although you can use a little bit of leverage to go a little deeper. And 2 more breaths. Maybe soften that right knee if that is too much intensity. Inhale, come back up through center. Right foot spins down. Warrior 2. Then right away, extend that left leg. Triangle, Trikonasana. Make your way. I'm bringing my right arm behind my back. Wrap the shoulder. And if you feel safe, you can always close your eyes. We've got 2 more breaths here. You can close your eyes and go inward, right? Yoga is an internal practice. Breathe in nice and deep. Let the breath go. Exhale. Left knee bends, warrior 2, inhale. And again, if the hips are shifting towards the right, shift them towards the left. Gazing over those left fingers, arms draw back, shoulders slide down. And 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. As you exhale, hands down to the mat. Make your way into a lunge and step the left foot back. Downward facing dog. And take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, lift your heels and bend your knees. Look to the top of the mat and make your way. Let's bend our knees coming into chair pose or Utkatasana, arms forward and up. And just soften here. And again, notice where your arms want to go. If they need to be a little lower, let them be. If you have some more stretch and space in your shoulders, maybe they rise up, biceps by the ears. And inhale, press into that right leg, lift that left knee forward. A little bit of balance, or maybe imbalance. Hands to heart center. Press, bring your thighs parallel. Press through that left heel, tipping forward. Warrior 3. Your gaze, your drishti is to the fore and forward. Rib cage draws back. 1 more breath. Right fingers either to a block or towards the top right corner of your mat, spinning open to the left, half moon. Ardha Chandrasana. Now option, when we were on our hands and knees, or on our knees, we did this, we bent the knee, and we grabbed the foot with the hand. You can go there or not, it doesn't matter. It's just an option. Take 1 more breath. If you have that foot, release it, right knee bends, step down, warrior 2. Let's take a little reverse here. Shoulders melt. Keep that knee moving towards the top of the mat. And just hold the upper body. Inhale, just extend that right leg. Exhale, melt a little more. Nice, everyone. Keep the legs. Inhale, bring the body up. Back to that triangle, right arm reaches out. Or maybe you slide down that shin, right? What feels good here today? And 2 more breaths. Maybe let the jaw soften. Maybe release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, bend that right knee. Place the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. Take the left hand down. You may have to walk that right foot out a little bit, coming into a lizard. Let the left knee come down. You can stay high if you want. I'm bringing mine down today. And just see where this pose takes you. You can turn the right toes out. You can shift forward and back. If it is there, maybe you grab a block and you land on your forearms. This is a really deep stretch for the inner hips, inner thighs, and it can be a little intense on that right knee. So just be careful and be mindful of where you're going with this. Close your eyes. Maybe that left hip flexor wants to release down towards the mat a little bit. We've got 2 more breaths. So nice and slow. We're not rushing through anything, but we're definitely going to some deeper points. If you're on your forearms or on a block, start to climb on up. You have turned those right toes out. Lift them, turn them to face the top of the mat. Tuck the left toes under, press through that left heel, left knee lifts. Press into your hands and feet. Lift your hips. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. And take a moment. Take a nice deep bend here. Chin towards your chest. So let that spine release. Let all the thoughts in your head just dump out of the crown. Right? Thoughts that are not necessary, just let them pour out. And very slowly roll yourself up. Inhale. Exhale, shoulders draw back. They slide down, palms turn forward. Feet step back into mountain pose. Knees bend, arms reach forward and up. Chair pose. So I'll turn this way for this side. For the left side. Pressing into that left foot. Right knee draws forward. Inhale. Exhale, bring your thighs parallel. Right foot is flexed. Press through the right heel, making your way into warrior three. Hands to heart. Take one more breath. And exhale, half moon. Left fingers to a block or to the top left corner of your mat. Spin open. An option, right? Stay here. This is more than enough. If you want to bend that right knee, bring the hand down, catch the foot or ankle. Same thing we did with the knee on the mat at the top for practice. Take one more breath. If you have that right foot, release it. Left knee bends, right foot steps down. Extend that right leg, reverse triangle. Soften the shoulders. Yeah, this feels really good, right? 2 feet on the mat. Opening the left side body, breathing into that lung. Nice big exhale. Keep the legs where they're at. Inhale, bring the torso up. Right hip shifts out. Triangle, Trikonasana, slide the left hand down. And just land wherever is good. Breathing in, feeling the feet anchoring into the earth. And maybe you feel a vibration of energy from the soles of the feet reaching down into the earth, and that is reciprocated. The earth energy is coming up through the soles of your feet. One more breath. Exhale, bend that left knee, place the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Take the right hand down and walk my left foot out. Squeaky mat, right? Right knee down. Or you can keep it up and take this as you need it. Left toes can turn out. You can roll to the outer edge of that left foot. You can come onto your forearms on the mat or on a block. Notice where you're feeling sensation, and wherever it is too much, then maybe you back off a little bit, right? We don't always have to stay in a point where it's too much. That's sometimes where a lot of anxiety comes from. And because we're in a place that is just not suitable for us. And we think we have to forge through, and we don't. And 2 more breaths here. If your shoulders are sliding up, because mine are sliding up, slide them down. Let the chest roll a little more forward. If you're on a block or on your forearm, start to climb back up onto your hands. If the left toes have turned out, lift them. Turn them to face the top of the mat. Tuck the right toes under. Press through that heel, knee lifts very gently. This time we're stepping back to downward facing dog. And 2 more breaths. Next, I'll bring your knees down to the mat. Then have a seat. Take a moment and just come into Sukhasana for just a second. Draw your shoulders back. Slide them down. And take a few moments, just rest Let yourself get grounded. That your palms rest on your thighs. That your shoulders draw down. And deepen your breath. Slow, deep breath in. Long breath out. If your shoulders are sliding, slide them down. And maybe, if you're comfortable enough, you can start to turn your palms upward, a sign of receiving. And gently start to flutter your eyes open if they're closed and extend your legs long. Maybe point and flex the feet, maybe circle those ankles, right? Let's not underestimate what happens in your body in your yoga practice. Coming into stillness, arms sweep out and up. Fingers reach skyward, ribs come off the hips, and we shift forward and we release over our legs, wherever it is you land. If your hands reach around your toes, that's fine. If they're reaching towards your shins, let them land where they go. If you're feeling open, you can cross at the wrists, hands to opposite feet, hand to opposite foot. And just breathe. So starting to quiet our body down, starting to decompress from all the movement, moving into a slower, stiller practice. And then chin towards your chest, let your hands release to the outsides of your legs, gently roll yourself up. So take your time, shoulders back and down, flex the left foot, keep the left leg extended, and bend the right knee. Right foot to the inside of the left thigh or the outside. Make sure both hips are on your mat. Left hand to the right foot. Right arm reaches forward and up, inhale. Exhale, spinning open to the right. Roll the shoulder and open up. A nice spinal twist here. Stretching out the last bits of tension that land inside of our body. Unwind back to center. So the right foot is on the outside of the left thigh. Place the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Hands behind you. Bend the left knee. Place the left foot on the mat. You can slide your hips a little more forward if you want. You can sway this side to side, or you can hold stillness. Maybe come into stillness if you have movement. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe lift the chest. Maybe you wrap the shoulders around, or maybe you sink back a little bit, right? Maybe that feels good here. Take a breath in and let it go. If you've shifted your hips forward towards that heel, shift them back a little bit. Uncross. Bring both legs back to extension, sitting up nice and tall. Arms sweep overhead, inhale. And exhale, fold over your legs wherever it is you're going. Take whatever option you want. And maybe with each exhale, we just allow our bodies to melt down and surrender just a little more. Right, the art of surrender, of letting go, of trusting the process and the flow of life. And let your hands release to the outsides of your legs or feet and gently roll yourself up. Inhale. Right foot is flexed. Bend the left knee and left foot to the mat and take the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Adjust. Make sure those hips are on the mat. Right hand on the left foot. Left arm forward and up. Inhale, lengthen in through the spine. Exhale, spinning up and sweep that left arm behind you. Fingertips or palm to the mat. Wrap the shoulder. Let the chin draw down. And just breathe. Maybe we twist a little deeper. Getting a little more tension out of our muscles. A little more tension out of our mind. Inhale, unwind back to center. Right foot is on the outside of the left foot is on the outside of the right thigh. Place the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Hands behind you. Bend the right knee, right foot to the mat. And if you want to shift your hips forward for a deeper stretch, go for that. You can sway it, you can hold stillness. Close your eyes. And again, take what you need here. If you need the chest to draw forward and the shoulders to wrap, go for that. If the shoulders want to round forward and the chest wants to sink in, you go into that, right? It's a really good stretch for your shoulder caps, actually. Better stretch than this. And 2 more breaths. And if you shifted those hips forward, press into your hands and shift them back. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. I'm going to spin this way. And shift forward. I'm going to grab a block. You may not need one. And roll all the way down onto your spine. Walk your heels back by your hips. Coming into either low bridge where you peel your hips up. I'm going to do legs up the wall with the block. So I'm going to press into my feet. And you can go straight up from here. Right? I'm going to press into my feet. Place my block on the second level underneath my sacral spine. I'm going to let my palms turn up. Draw the knees into my chest. And extend the legs skyward. And close your eyes. You can press into your feet and do legs up the wall, or you can lay flat on your back and lift your legs straight up. And close your eyes. So this starts to, a slight inversion, right? Pulls the blood and energy back into the heart. It re-regulates your body. It calms down the central nervous system, so we're not quite as anxious. And allows us to sink deeper into ourself. So let's let gravity yet again do its thing. So let the eyes start to sink back into their sockets. Let gravity soften the muscles in your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw, your neck, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your core. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. And then gently start to bend those knees. If you're on a block, very slowly place your feet on the mat. It's a little further away than you think. And if you have that block there, press into your feet, lift your hips up. Release your hips down, let your legs extend. So now allow gravity to soften your heart, right? Krishna, love and compassion. Soften the heart center. So we can equally give love and compassion with a grateful heart. And as well, receive love and compassion back into ourselves. Let the spine melt into the earth. Let your core soften and the belly relax. Let your hips get nice and grounded. Let your legs sink. So now the legs are supported as the main structural part of our body. Let that feel support as well. Let your toes relax. If you set an intention at the top of your practice, call that back. You may want to shift it, you may want to change it, but whatever it is, call that intention in. Let the backs of your shoulders roll back onto the earth. Turn your palms up. Let your fingers get soft. And just breathe. You gently draw a long, slow breath in. Let your arms reach up and overhead. Then exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself a really big hug for showing up today. And then gently float your body over to one side. Just take a moment before you rush off with the rest of your day. Just pause. And take that top hand, press it into the earth. Bring yourself back up. Make your way back into that Sukhasana, that easy, gentle pose. And let's let our eyes get quiet as our palms join at our heart center. And we take these final moments of our practice together in gratitude. Always I give gratitude first to you. For whether you're watching this on your own or if you have joined friends together. You make these classes possible just by saying yes, for showing up for yourself. Gratitude we give for this gift called life. And for whatever it is that life holds, all the things that we have planned and the unexpected surprises. And in closing, I bow in gratitude to you for taking the time to join me in this practice, and for allowing me the honor of guiding you. The light in me acknowledges and bows to the same light that lives within you. Enjoy your day. Thank you for joining me. Thumbs to the center of your forehead, to your third eye, and we bow forward. And namaste. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will be hosting a full moon lunar eclipse workshop on the Thursday the 13th of March at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have questions about that, let me know. I will have details in the comments. If you have questions about this or anything else that I provide, just reach out. I also have my email in there. And until next time, I send you light and love from my soul to yours. Thank you so much for joining me.